It is my great pleasure to introduce to you Maria Cisne Farahani, who graciously agreed to share her inspiring story with us today. As an advocate for women's health in Central America and an advocate for educational opportunities for youth in the United States, Maria's energy and enthusiasm never cease to amaze us. Her persistence to do for others is unmatched. A community leader from her hometown shared this: "Without Maria Farahani, there would be no KIPP school in Austin, Texas." Her volunteerism, advocacy, and passion are not just felt in Texas, they are felt around the world. I have come to know Maria in her role as an officer of the Rhodes Board of Trustees during the last 2 years in my service as a faculty trustee. Inspired by the experiences of Maria's daughter, Layla, a member of the class of 14, she has come to love Rhodes and all it represents. A tireless recruiter for Rhodes, Maria also co-chaired the National Parent Campaign Committee. She has a special gift for connecting all of those around her. And in 2017, Maria was recognized by the college with its highest honor, the Distinguished Service Medal. Please join me in a warm welcome for Maria Farahani.
It is my pleasure. Graduates, parents, faculty, and staff, what an honor to be here today for such a momentous occasion. We are not only celebrating your graduation, but this is also the first graduation under Rhodes' first female president, Dr. Haas. This coincides with the celebration of 100 years of women in our college. So let me be the first to congratulate each and every one of you and your families. This is a great day, one you have dreamed of for years. In other schools, you might get an actor or an actress or someone famous to address you. But in the spirit of Rhodes, you get a coffee farmer from Nicaragua to address you. We can all appreciate the hard work that brought you here. Congratulations. Felicidades. Gong Chi. 4 years ago, my family and I were in your shoes, as I am the parent of a 2014 graduate. Special greetings to our international graduates and their families, as their journeys have been tougher. I, too, was once an international student in this country. And a special greeting to our DACA, first generation, and special needs students, for they had had extra sets of hoops to jump through to get here. Let me warn you, from now on, and for the rest of your life, you will have this recurring dream where you forgot to drop a class that you did not intend to take, or you did not attend all semester long, and now it's finals, and you're devastated. You know you will flunk, only to fortunately wake up. 4 decades later, it still gets me every time. Oh, the places you will go. As a member of the Rhodes family, I'm amazed to hear about the many places you graduates go once you get your set of Rhodes wings. And if you don't at this moment, you will get there when the time is right, as you are well equipped. So many times I have witnessed that this place, like the book that first brought us here says, truly changes lives. It has changed mine as well as my daughter's. I am a fourth-generation coffee farmer who came to this country from Nicaragua to seek an education while my native country was falling into a civil war in the 1970s. A leftist revolution took over when the Sandinista Front won the armed conflict. Some of my friends were joining a clandestine armed struggle against the government that I chose not to join. Instead, I came here to the United States. I believe that persistence, determination, and peaceful actions are a better choice. It was so heartbreaking to witness the loss of so many lives in that struggle. It was also a tough time for my family, as my parents were on the losing side of the struggle. Everything we owned was confiscated, and our dad became a political prisoner who, on a brief release, went into hiding and eventually was smuggled out of the country. Meanwhile, I managed to graduate from university just before the rug was pulled from under my feet. For a year after graduation, I helped the rest of the family settle into this great nation that embraced them as political refugees. It breaks my heart to see that the doors that was once opened for us then is now slammed in the faces of those with similar struggles simply because of their different creed. While at the University of Texas, I met the love of my life, a person from the other side of the world. Back in the 70s, there were many Middle Eastern students in this nation. Their petrodollars from their countries afforded them a fine education in the US of A. I fell in love with a student from Iran. His country, that had experienced 2,500 years of monarchy, was also undergoing a violent revolution that brought down their Shah, the King of Kings, thus starting a new reality for their nation. But nothing could deter the two lovebirds from falling in love. A year after helping my family adjust to a new country, culture, language, and a new reality in the United States, I moved to Iran to be with the one I loved. I arrived barely 6 months after the students had climbed the walls of the American embassy in Tehran and had taken the American diplomats as hostages with the blessings of the new religious leader, the Ayatollah Khomeini. These dramatic events led the US government to break ties with Iran, ties that remain broken to this day. Those days in Iran were uncertain, with so many changes happening with the transition from monarchy to religious authority. And if things were not challenging enough, Saddam Hussein of Iraq decided to start a war with Iran. I had finally married my guy, all alone, for no one I knew could possibly travel there to be at the wedding. Just as we were honeymooning, and my husband was so proudly showing me his country, Saddam bombed the Tehran airport on the 4th day of our marriage. Together, we endured 5 years of air raids, food and fuel shortages, limitations of many kinds. But when the going gets tough, you make the best of friends who last a lifetime. You build character, and your faith in God Almighty becomes stronger. Consider it pure joy, my brothers, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith develops perseverance. James 1:2-3. Thanks to my liberal arts education and the knowledge of 4 different languages, I found a job at an embassy in Tehran. The job afforded us a bridge between worlds and a closer contact with the outside. Life changed when we were about to have a child. In 1986, Saddam Hussein decided to intensify the conflict by dropping missiles in Tehran, where we lived. We felt it was not a place we wanted to nurture our newborn child, and we left it all behind. We had education, faith, one another, family, and friends with open hearts. We left behind all we had built together to find safe ground in the United States of America. Due to the strained relations between our countries of origin, our legalization here took years. Again, thanks to our education and the mighty God above, we thrived in an adopted country. Remember, graduates, that no political conflict, uncertainty, or life change could ever take away the education you have received. Make no mistakes. At the present moment, this is the best country that has ever been in the history of humankind. Of course, there are many examples of racial injustice that we should continue to try and correct. And we may disagree strongly with our political leaders, but we have a constitution that guarantees our rights. Please do engage yourself in maintaining, enforcing, and preserving our principles. For the last 242 years of history, the world has looked to this nation as a leader. Please make sure we elect those who have the character to continue this tradition, those who hold the values, the principles, and the kindness that were the founding stones to this nation. Speak up, stand up, do your part. This country has been a great place, a safe place to raise a family, to support ourselves comfortably, and to help others. A generosity of spirit is a huge element of the fabric of this nation. For there is more joy in giving than in receiving. Some 5 years before you were born, and thanks to the perseverance of former US President Jimmy Carter, my native Nicaragua held a free, democratic, UN-monitored elections, bringing it back out of a leftist regime and out of the Iran-Contra arms struggle. We saw an opportunity to invest in the revival of that country by stepping foot into our forefathers' trade, coffee farming. It took a lot of investment, hard work, and persistence to make coffee a profitable trade. But as everything in life, it's not necessarily the end, but the way you get there that is important. We became involved and engaged in making a difference. Nicaragua is the second poorest country in our continent after Haiti. This allowed endless opportunities to become involved. In 2010, we started FARA Foundation to benefit the people in the coffee growing area of Nicaragua. Coffee profits allowed us to have a brick and mortar contribution to change. FARA Clinic was created in Matagalpa, Nicaragua, to combat the #1 killer of women 30 to 60 years old, cervical cancer. One by one, great local healthcare providers and staff came to our doors to become beacons of change by providing amazing care. But the blessings did not stop there. Well-known doctors from around the world have been coming to our little clinic to ease pain and suffering, all while training our local doctors in vein treatment, detection, and prevention of cervical cancer and breast cancer. We have also collaborated with other nonprofits in this job, Amigos de Salud, Global Partners, and Rotary International. The clinic sees 10,000 patients a year, saving lives and relieving pain. The foundation gives non-perishable food items to over 100 families who could not make ends meet. It also helps with elder care and education of the young. I can honestly tell you that never before in our lives we have felt so complete now that we're helping to meet the basic needs of others. I would like to encourage you to continue the compassionate journey you have started at Rhodes. Wherever life's journey may take you, do your part to seek out such opportunities and make a difference. A quick update on the other 2 countries of this story. My prayers are with the people of Nicaragua as they're trying to change the course of history through peaceful demonstration, and to the everyday people of Iran, as they will be deeply affected by U.S. sanctions. As you move from the familiar, supportive environment at Rhodes and into a new adventure, I want you to remember one thing. Do not fear new challenges, for I am the Lord, your God, who takes hold of your right hand and says to you, do not fear. I will help you. Isaiah 41:13. Make your life a journey of faith and keep close contacts with family and friends. The wonderful mentors you have had here, I'm certain, will have your back in the future. I feel like I'm preaching to the choir in my humble voice, for Rhodes students are the most engaged in the nation when it comes to making a difference. But in this time of transition, I want to encourage you to keep your voice. Like Mr. Gandhi said, be the change you want to see in the world. Don't let anything or anyone discourage you. Be inspired to follow your heart, because once you do, others will be inspired. Do not fear challenges, but embrace them. For you have something that no war, revolution, or adverse circumstance can ever take away from you: a fine education and a valuable degree from a very reputable institution. I ask a favor of you. Please don't forget in the future to be generous with this fine college that has opened many doors for you, so that others may have the same fortune you have had. Again, congratulations to each and every one of you, and may you enjoy all the best that life may offer. Thank you.